Guys, have you ever wondered why doesn't the moon just fly away in the space? So, or chalo, let's have some other example. Why doesn't the stone that you swing tied to a string, why doesn't it shoot off instantly? Science. Now, science has a powerful secret behind all of this. So let's unlock it together. Hello everyone, I am Priya Chajil, and today we are going to start a very interesting topic from your class 10th SSC book, that is gravitation. So let's just unlock this chapter together. It's a very interesting chapter. So let's begin with it. I hope my screen is visible. Have you ever seen in the previous standards that the gravitation force is a universal force and it not only acts between two objects on the earth but also between two objects in the universe? So get it clear that it doesn't act just on the earth. No, it is practically possible anywhere in the universe, anywhere in the universe. So gravitation. As we have learned, the phenomenon of gravitation was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton. Who discovered? Okay, before I go ahead, I want to inform you that I have written these things, you know, in the notes itself, so that whenever you are able to study and whenever you refer to the notes, you know that how a question can be framed. Now, this can come, this is very simple, but this can come in true and false. That the gravitation force also acts between two objects in the universe. True or false? You have to answer that. Or maybe a question will be asked giving a case study that this person thinks that gravitational force is limited or is just on Earth. So, what are your thoughts about it? So, you have to write it. So, every line is important. In your class 10th board, every line is important. You have to understand the concept. I don't think you have to learn it, but you have to understand the concept. Next, moving ahead. The phenomenon of gravitation was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton. This is very basic, but you just keep it in mind. I have highlighted it, and I want you to open your book, and even you should highlight, or even if you just have pencil and pen, highlight it with pencil, like underline it. So as the story goes, he discovered the force by seeing an apple fall from a tree on the ground. He wondered why all apples fall directly downwards and not at an angle to the vertical, or why does not fly in the horizontal direction. So the question asked is, why doesn't it go like this? If this is Earth, this is apple, why does it come here and why doesn't it go there? It could have also, fallen at an angle, hit at an angle. Why does it come directly down? So after much thought, he came to the conclusion that Earth must be attracting the apple towards itself, and this attractive force must be directed towards the center of the Earth. This is directed towards center of the Earth. This was the question. We got the answer that this is correct. It is directed towards the center of the Earth. The direction from the apple on the tree to the center of the Earth is vertical direction at the position of the apple, and thus the apple falls vertically downwards. So घुमा फिरा के they want you to know that it attracts things not as an angle. It attracts vertically downwards. Earth attracts anything vertically downwards towards the center, and not at an angle or horizontally at 180 degree. No, vertically downwards. Now there is an image for your understanding which shows an apple tree on the earth. The force on the apple on the tree is towards the center of the earth. Now just look at this image very, very, very carefully. I want you to have just try to understand. Pause the video, try to understand, try to figure out what is being explained without reading this explanation. No, don't read this first. First, to try to understand what is being written over here, like what is being coded over here. Okay, we can see a moon, a tree, apple, and earth. I think this is only a thing depicted. Now they are telling that the force on the apple on the tree is towards the center of the earth. This is towards the center of the earth along the perpendicular. What is perpendicular? 90 degrees. Those of you who know what is perpendicular? It's 90 degrees. From the position of the apple to the surface of the earth. 90 degrees. Gravitational force between the earth and the moon. The figure shows the gravitational forces between earth and the moon and apple and earth. Two gravitational forces are shown in the image. Newton thought that if the force of gravitation acts on apples on the tree at a different height from the surface of the earth, it can also act on objects at a greater height, much farther away from the earth, like for an example, the moon. So what the other thought? What is the other thought that Newton got after whole of that apple incident? He thought that is it limited only to the objects that are very close to the earth, like apples, or it acts on different heights as well? So the answer is yes, it works at different heights. Even the moon, like the question that I had asked in the beginning, that the moon doesn't fly away in the universe anywhere because there is a force which is keeping it attracted, which is keeping it bounded to the earth, and that is our gravitational attractive force. So we have seen that force is necessary to change the direction as well as the direction of motion, change the speed as well as direction. So why is force needed? To change the speed. What is the role of force? To change the speed and also to change the direction of motion. DOM is direction of motion. First we will go through this scientist wala introduction. Great scientist. Sir Isaac Newton, 1942 to 1727, sorry, 1727, was one of the greatest scientists of recent times. He was born in England. He gave his laws of motion, equations of motion, and theory of gravity in his book Principia. They might ask you this, like chances are less, but then you should be prepared for the worst. So before this book was written, Kepler had given three laws, which we will, understand what are Kepler's law in the next video. Today we will cover only till centripetal force. So Kepler gave three laws before this book was written describing planetary motion. However, the reason why planets move in the way described by the Kepler's law was not known. Newton, with his theory of gravity, mathematically derived Kepler. So Kepler gave the laws, three laws describing planetary motion. But you know what? Uh, he gave a very theoretical, like he didn't have any um, proof or he couldn't prove it. But Newton, with his theory of gravity, mathematically derived the Kepler's law. Okay? In addition to this, Newton did groundbreaking work in several areas, including light, heat, sound, and mathematics. So basically, wherever you think, whichever field you find, Newton has done something or the other in that field. Every field he has touched at least once. Okay. He invented a new branch of mathematics. This is called calculus and has a wide range application of physics and mathematics. He was the first scientist to construct a reflecting telescope. Very important. Not in this chapter, but generally. So this is the work done by Newton, and you should be aware of this. This could be asked for a 1 mark question, maybe. So now, circular motion and centripetal force. Tie a stone to one end of the string. Take the other end in your hand and rotate the string so that the stone moves along a circle. Like the stone in this image. This is a stone. This is your hand, you are holding the string and you are rotating it, rotating it. Okay? So are you applying any force on the stone? Let's see. As long as we are holding the string, we are pulling the stone towards us. We are pulling it towards us. You can even try. Take a ball and tie it with string. You can try that. So toward the center of the circle and applying a force towards it. The force stops acting if we release the string. In this case, the stone will fly off along a straight line, which is a tangent to the circle. What is tangent? First, let's understand this. Suppose this is your circle. Your circle. Okay? And this is your center. So, as soon as you leave this ball or stone from your hand, it will go in a straight direction. Not, it could have gone like in a circle. Suppose this is the point where you left the stone. Now it will go in a tangent. Tangent is like this. This is the tangent. These are the tangents in a straight line. Force stops acting if we release the string. In this case, the stone will fly off along a straight line, which is a tangent to the circle, and at the position of the stone when the string is released, because that is the direction of its velocity at that time of instant of time. So, the force that acts on an object moving along a circle and directed towards the center of the circle is called a centripetal force. When I talk about circle, there are two types of force which we can understand the concept of force in circle. There are two types of force, and both are opposite of each other. There is centripetal and there is centrifugal force. Centripetal is center loving. The word itself means century is center, and petal means loving, center loving. And centrifugal is away from the center. This is something extra. If you want to know, you can of course everywhere you can find it on internet. This is just an introduction that okay, this is a term which you may listen anywhere when you talk about force in a circle. Centripetal means center loving. That is the object tries to go towards the center of the circle because of this force. You know that the moon, which is a natural satellite of the earth, goes around in a definite orbit. Direction of the motion in the moon as well as the speed constantly changes during this motion. Even moon में भी यही होता है. This is earth, this is moon, and goes in a direction. From the above activity and example and question, it is clear that for the moon to go around the earth, there must be a force which is exerted on the moon. And this force must be exerted by the earth which attracts the moon towards itself. There is a force by the earth on the moon. Similarly, the sun must be attracting. देखो जो attract कर रहा है वो force लगाएगा. अगर moon earth के साथ attached है, like attracted है, तो वो move कर रहा है गोल गोल उसके आजू बाजू में. It is not flying away. Similarly, if we take sun का example, all the planets are revolving around the sun. So there is a force by the sun on the planets. By and on किसके ऊपर है ध्यान रखो, कौन किस पे कर रहा है, जो अट्रैक्ट जिसके आजू बाजू में घूम रहा है वो कर रहा है. I hope you got my point. Attract एक फोर्स, अट्रैक्शन एक फोर्स और ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स है ना एक अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स है. कुछ फोर्सेस रिपल्सिव होते हैं, कुछ फोर्सेस अट्रैक्टिव होते हैं. ग्रेविटेशन एक अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स का एग्जांपल है. और इधर मैंने वही एक्सप्लेनेशन लिखा है कि अर्थ को अगर मून को अट्रैक्ट करना होगा तो अर्थ हैज टू अप्लाई फोर्स ऑन मून, अर्थ को फोर्स करना अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. And guys, whatever I have highlighted are important. This is definition. Definitely, like this will come in a direct question. Apart from that, I've also written true and false wherever I think it is possible. These side notes are important for understanding. Name of the scientist and this box is important. You know, people usually ignore this, thinking that this is not a part of chapter, like main chapter, but this may come in a trick question because most of you leave it. So I hope you understood this, and I'll cover the remaining part in the next part, the remaining chapter in the next part of the series of this chapter. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe this channel for more upcoming videos, and do comment to me for whatever suggestion, whatever review you have, whatever feedback you have. I'll surely see and work on it. Thank you guys. Bye bye.